We didn't know what happened. We didn't know what was going to happen. But I thank God that He is the God that gives strength. He is the God that gives courage to be able to fight and battle through this journey. She did grow up here in Williams Temple until she left to go to Florida A&M University, where she graduated from Florida A&M University. She's a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. She is currently living in Atlanta, Georgia, where she is married and the mother to my babies, my 2 nieces and my nephew. And so she has a story to tell about how good God is, even in the midst of how good God is. So I promise you, if you would open up your ears and listen, she not only has a word about breast cancer, but she has a word from the Lord. I present to you Patricia Sherfield-Polite.
Trish, put it under the light right here.
Gotta get my nose together. All right. Glory to God. Glory to God. I'm so overwhelmed to be here. I am so grateful to be standing here today. You don't know what I've been through, and I'm going to try to share just a little bit about my journey. But before I start, I want to thank and give honor to some and recognize some others. I want to first give honor to God, who is my Savior, my deliverer, and my healer. God did it for me. To the ministerial staff and to my pastor in his absence, who I was able to visit on yesterday, and just say thank you for the seeds that you planted in me. So when I got on this journey, I was able to go back and remember everything He had planted in my life for times like this. I want to thank my village and my family who are here, Team Press who are here, sitting in the back, supporting me on this journey. To my foundation, which is my mother and my sister and my nephew, who were in the trenches with me and who have always been with me whenever I called them, no matter where I was and what I was doing. All I had to do was call and say, come, and they came. In the absence of my rock and my blessings, that's my husband Ben and Kennedy, Caitlin, and Cole. They're my rock and my blessings, and God blessed me with a God-sent husband. I mean, He proved His word. When you're talking about in good times and bad times and sickness and health, He was there for me. Now, we had to divide and conquer this weekend because I needed to get here and get back. And they had soccer and basketball and a slumber party and brownies, and they were like, Mommy, we're not coming this time. So Mommy left them on home. And then I have to thank my Aunt Betty, who has loved me since I was tweets, who heard my story, who listened to my story, who connected and engaged with my journey, and thought it was worthy enough to share with you all today, who put on this event and had everybody here in beautiful pink and said, Trisha, I need you to come and share your story, that it was worthy enough to be heard and giving me this opportunity. She doesn't know every time I speak, it empowers me to continue to go on the journey. So thank you, Aunt Betty, for doing this for me. Now, every time I share my story, I have to start in the same way. I am Tricia Polite. I am confident. I am bold. I am courageous. And I am a survivor of stage 3 breast cancer. Thank you, God. Glory to God. Stage 3 breast cancer. He was trying to take me out of here, but God blocked it. Glory to God. Hallelujah. He did it for me. And see, I say that when I started that way because I haven't always been bold, and I haven't always been courageous, and I haven't always been empowered. Just 6 months ago, I was living under a wig in fear. Scared to talk about it because, see, cancer has a way of shaking your foundation and messing with your confidence. It literally took my voice. I couldn't even talk about it. Every time I tried to open my mouth about it, I couldn't say a word. I was so scared. I mean, fear. I didn't know if I was going to get through this journey. So I stand here, and when I say I'm bold and courageous, I'm going to show you how I got there. If you just give me a few minutes to do it. See, I don't stand here thinking my voice is unique and my story is unique. See, we're in church, so I can tell you to touch your neighbor. And tell them if you've been impacted and who with cancer. And I'm sure every one of you could touch your neighbor and tell them a story about how cancer impacted your life. Whether it was your own, your grandmother, your mother, your auntie, your cousin, your sister, your neighbor, or your friend. It's prevalent. So I don't stand here acting like I'm unique and it's special. I speak for the voices of many that have been in the battle, who's going to join the battle, and who's been given rest from the battle.
Thank you, Lord.
I know that I overcome because the Bible says I overcome by the words of my testimony. So I'm standing here just trying to overcome for myself and for others. I stand here because I got to stand on the word of God did it for me. So my story is his glory. And so I speak up in that sense. And I'm just trying to stay in the journey. I'm just trying to share what God did for me. I'm trying to remind you that breast cancer is a beast. And it's prevalent in our community. And so when I speak and talk about this thing, I just started here about a year ago in my busy household with these busy kids and this busy husband. We were preparing to start the school year and everything was wonderful and things were going well. We had finished a wonderful summer. We had traveled and things were going great. We've been active and doing our thing and getting ready for school. And because as mothers, you know, we take care of everybody else and then take care of ourselves later. So I missed my doctor's appointments. Not really concerned because I was feeling good. Life was going good. I thought I was looking good because I had been working out. Had lost a few pounds, so I was feeling fine. So I didn't go to the doctor. I had missed my appointment in August. And September came, and my doctor, see, you have to have a relationship with your doctors. My doctor called and said, we need to see you. We haven't seen you in about a year and a half. I said, oh, Doc, nothing going on. And he said, no, you need to come in and get a checkup. I said, Doc, I really don't have time. I'm working and I'm busy. Thank you so much. And he said, well, come on in. And so that was September 10th. And he said, well, if you could get in here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, I promise I'll get you in and I'll get you out. See, the Lord has a way of just sometimes snatching you. Because we won't do right. So I went in at 8 o'clock just as a task on my list, as a to-do thing, just to go in, get it checked off. Okay, you saw me, I'm good, give me my paper, I got to go. That's the mindset I had. And so I went into the doctor. That morning on September 11th, everybody was celebrating or commemorating 9/11. I didn't know I had a ticking bomb going on the inside of me. And we found a lump, and he said, now, Miss Polite, what's this lump? I said, oh, I don't know about a lump. He said, there's a lump here. We need to look at it. I said, oh, okay. He said, well, you don't have history. And said, I don't have history of breast cancer in my family. Cancer on either side of my family. So he said, I'm sure it's a benign cyst. Don't worry about it. We'll go get it checked out. He said, well, I've had 2 mammograms, and they were clear. He said, well, don't worry about it. And I said, okay, that's fine. We'll go get it checked out. And I called my husband. I said, well, they found a lump, but it's probably benign, and it's probably a cyst, so we're not going to really worry about it, but we're going to go check it out. He said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to go get a mammogram. He said, I'll go with you. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go get it, and it'll be fine. Went for the mammogram, and when they came out and looked at the things, they said, well, you need to go ahead and get an ultrasound. By now, I'm getting a little scared. Called my husband. He said, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So we got to the place, and we did the ultrasound. Little did I know, he told me 3 months down the line, he said, when you went to go change back into your clothes, the radiation technologist said, we are very concerned with what we see. Don't let her put it off. She needs to get a biopsy ASAP. Don't let her push this off. And so that week, my husband said, let's get this biopsy. I said, my daughter's turning 10, and we've got things to do. I'm planning for this big party. I don't have time. He said, no, let's go get this biopsy. Let's do it now. So we went to the doctor, and I'll fast forward it. We went to the doctor before I even had my biopsy. I'm sitting there, she said, Miss Polite, I will tell you this. Just what I'm seeing here, I'm 95% sure it's cancer. Excuse me? It's 95% sure it's cancer. I looked at a screen at all. And I looked at my husband, I said, what is she saying? She's saying, what now? It's what? He said, well, Trish, it's probably early stages. I said, okay, well, it's early stages. Okay, it's good. He said, they'll just probably go in and we'll take the lump out. You know how we try to do what the doctor does, right? So, okay, they're going to take the lump out, and I'll be out 6 to 7 weeks, and we'll get it out, and we'll keep it moving. And so we went and had the party, and we came back that day. It was the day, September 28th. And we had the party, and that Monday we went to the doctor, and she said, okay. I said, so do we just need to do surgery for the lump? She said, yeah, we're going to have to do surgery, but Miss Polite, it's stage 3. Not only is it in your lump, it has traveled and is underneath your clavicle bone and has gone into your lymph nodes. It was about to be a wildfire in my body. And I said, okay, but when's the surgery? She said, no. It's a little bit more aggressive than that. This cancer is aggressive and it's moving fast, so we're going to have to do a very, very aggressive treatment. Between that date and October 16th, I had more doctor's appointments and scans and tests than I've had in all 42 years of my life. She said, we've got to do chemotherapy, and after chemotherapy, we're going to do surgery, and after surgery, we're going to do radiation. And it was just, I couldn't understand. I couldn't grasp it. I didn't understand what she was saying. I got disconnected. And the fear, now that was planted, had grown. And it had taken over me. I remember I got on the phone and I called my mom and I said, they said it's cancer. And I got these babies to raise. And I sat in the parking lot, and my mother trying to be, because she's like me, strong but sensitive, right? So she started crying and started praying, and I said, but I got babies to raise, and I can't do this.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
God puts everybody that you need in your life, so I have a strong but sensitive mama. And then I've got a strong, hit the road, hardcore sister who I call her. She said, okay, we're going to do what we got to do. And I needed to hear both sides. I was scared. But then I needed someone who could just be my mama and let me cry. And then my sister, okay, we're going to tell me what the plan is. What day I need to come up there. Okay, we're going to check it out. Child, this ain't going to do nothing. We're going to keep it moving. And so we started on October 16th. I didn't know then because I didn't connect with it. So I start when I say I'm Trisha Polite because I did not connect with cancer. Even when I was getting chemotherapy, I did not connect with it. I decided this was going to be just a bump on life's highway. I was going to get through it, check it off my list, and keep it moving. That's my attitude. I said, we're not going to make a big fuss, Ben. We're not going to tell everybody. We're going to privately battle this. I'm going to get my wigs made. I'm not going to share. I don't need to be overwhelmed with people calling and all of this. You know, you start talking crazy. I start trying to make it all deep, you know, where 2 or 3 are gathered. That's all I need. I don't need the whole church praying for me, corporate praying. No, God said 2 or 3 gathered. He said, so that's all we're going to do. I was speaking it, but it was fear that was talking because I didn't want people to know because I didn't know. I was uncertain. And I kept saying, this really isn't happening to me. I've never been sick besides, in the hospital besides birthing my children. This isn't me. And so I went with this strategy of normalcy. I was going to hide as much as I can. I implored my mother and my sister, do not tell a soul. I mean, I don't want y'all telling anybody. I don't want anybody calling here. I'm fine. We're going to be all right. And then I had first chemo, and that was a Wednesday. And by that Saturday, I was in the hospital. Chemo knocked me completely out of here. Severely dehydrated. And I started getting scared. I wasn't sure about this. And so I kept telling myself, no, it's fine. We're going to be okay. And I'm going to work it out. And then the next chemo came, I was back in the hospital. And the next chemo came, and I was back in the hospital. By that time, it started getting dark. Because, see, not only is cancer a physical thing, it's an emotional thing. It's a spiritual thing. And I kept saying, okay, I've been through tests, God. I've been through trials before. So if this is a test of endurance, I can do this. If this is a test of strength, I can do this. Okay, God, I'll do it. But then it started getting darker and darker and darker. And I was getting scared and scared. And I mean, my babies were looking at me, and Mommy was not moving. moving. She was laying in the bed. I had mouth sores. My head was on fire. My feet had given out. My nails were black. I couldn't eat. You couldn't touch me because my skin was so sensitive. You couldn't hug me. You could not do anything. So I had no immune system, so my babies couldn't kiss me. They couldn't hug their mommy. They some days couldn't even come in the room. We were wearing masks in the house. Yeah. And they kept trying to understand what was this. I said, Mommy's a little sick, but we'll be okay. Mommy's a little sick, but we'll be okay. Yeah. But I wasn't believing it. Yeah. And then see, the devil thought he had me down, so then what he did was my grandmother died, and I couldn't travel. And I was laying in the bed, and I was talking to my sister, and I said, they won't let me come. My sweet Mama B, I couldn't see her, and the devil kept talking to me. You know, sometimes we listen to him, and so I was listening to him. And I was asking God, I said, God, I need a word. I need something to get me through this. I need a word. I remember everything that I've been brought up. I'm a woman of faith. I go to church. I'm active. God, I need a word. And I couldn't find one. I was opening the Bible and I was reading stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not it. Read it. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, let me listen to a sermon. No, that's not it. It's not speaking to me. This is getting harder and harder. And I started praying. I said, God, I need a word. And then one night he told me, just as clear as day, I woke up, I was up, just tossing and turning, and he said, press. And I'm saying, God, that's it? Because I did not super deep, y'all. I was like, press? He said, press. It didn't resonate right then and there. And I'm saying, press? Lord, that's it? I'm looking for a T.D. Jakes type sermon. Is that it? Press? And that was all I had. And so I kind of waited around and I was praying through this thing. And we were getting through it. And then January came and I started feeling a little bit better. And was like, okay, I might be able to get through this. And maybe I'll press. I didn't really know what it was, but maybe I'll just press through it. But the devil, you know, he stays busy.
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes, he does.
And then my best friend and my buddy, my partner, got sick. And when I lost Dwayne, and I couldn't travel, and we were talking on Skype, and I was under my wing because I didn't want to press him with what I was going through. And I couldn't make it there. And I said, God, I need something because now I got my grandmother's gone and my buddy and my partner is gone. Yeah. And I can't even get there for closure, God. I need something more than just press. Yes, something else. Yeah. I can't get out the bed. My husband was picking me up and carrying me down the stairs. He was giving me a bath. He was bathing me. He was feeding soup when I could eat it. My pastor was coming and giving me communion at the house, and he said, well, do you want us to tell people? No. No, we didn't change the strategy. We're not telling nobody. My husband said, I need some help around here. I said, well, you're going to figure it out, but you're going to do it by yourself and be quiet. And one day I'm sitting there, and I got the Bible, and I looked, and it just, I had been opening and closing and opening, and then press resonated. Philippians 3:13 said, I press toward the mark for the prize. And I said, God, is that it? I'm press toward the mark. What is my mark? It's Jesus. Get closer to him. To survivorship. He'll do it for me. And so I started thinking I can get through this journey if I just press. If I just keep going, because that's what he wants me to do. He needs me to keep going. And so I started changing a little bit about what I was saying to my children. That word started resonating to me. I started saying, Mom is already healed. I started speaking to it directly. I started speaking to the cancer. I said, I'm already healed. I just got to go through the process. And I started feeling like that fear was getting smaller. My confidence was coming back up. See, that's when you're talking about being courageous. And they said, Mommy, I said, Mommy's already healed. We're just going to go through the process. This journey is just a process. It's prepping me for my purpose if I just stay on it. And so I started to press. man, because I started sharing a little bit more about my journey. Started realizing about overcoming through the words of my testimony. So I started speaking a little bit more. And then I told my husband one Saturday, the week we would always start after church on Sunday. I said, this week I'm not praying about cancer. He said, okay. I said, not praying about my healing. I need God to give me a voice. He said, okay. I said, so we're praying this week for a voice. I don't know how to talk about it. I really don't know how to come out, but I can feel myself being moved that I needed to start coming out and talking. But I didn't know how to do it because then in my mind I'm saying, well, I've been living this secret and this. To me, of course, you take a secret and then you try to make it into a lie. And I'm like, well, I've been living a lie. He said, you haven't been living a lie. You've been trying to live. Yeah. I said, okay, Ben. He said, so this week, we're praying for a voice. And he said, okay. And that Saturday, I was in the car. God would just show up. That Saturday, I was in the car with my family, and it started getting hot. And see, I never went anywhere without my wigs. And I took my wig off in the car because it was hot. And I was on the phone with my sister talking about my nephew's prom. And we got into the furniture store, and I'm on the phone with her. And we get out the car and go in the furniture store. And I'm walking, and I caught wind of my head. And I was shiny bald, y'all. And I said, oh, my God, Ben, I don't have my wig on. Oh, my God, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Oh, my goodness, I cannot do this. Ben, give me my... He said, Trisha, you cannot go back to the car and put your wig on and come back in the store. They're going to think you're crazy. I said, no, I need the keys. I need to go to the car. He said, no. And kids came, Mommy, you okay? I said, Mommy, is that okay? Give me a minute. Mommy, is not okay. I was sweating. My eyes, Lord, I'm not ready for this. I'm out here in public. I don't have my wig on. I don't have my piece, my safety blanket. I was out there exposed.
Tell it, woman of God, tell it.
And the manager of the store comes up to me and he says, you okay? And I said, I'm not. Just give me a second. He said, okay, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah, I was thinking I'm not really in the mood to talk about this furniture. He said, your hair, you are rocking that hair. And I was thinking, I'm bald. He said, is that a result or a choice? I said, it's a result. He said, okay. So, well, my wife, I've been on your journey. My wife is a breast cancer. She had breast cancer, and it had spread to her lungs and her tumors in her head, and she lost her eyesight, and she lost her hair. And I'm thinking in my mind, this is why I don't like to tell people stuff, because I don't want to hear those kind of stories. And he said, they gave her a week to live, so I've been there. They gave her a week to live. They told her she wasn't going to get through because it had metastasized. And, so I understand. And, she had to battle with the wigs and stuff. And I said, yeah. And I was trying to cut him off. And he said, yeah, but that was 13 years ago. I just hung the phone with her. Glory to God. He said, that was 13 years ago. She's the longest surviving stage 4 breast cancer in Metro Atlanta. And he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, I don't know your faith. I said, I'm a faith walker. He said, okay. He said, I don't know. He said, I'm just going to tell you this. God said, just walk in it. Glory to God. Just walk in it. We're in the furniture store. And I'll say this was a white man, just an average day, white guy coming up to me saying, just walk in it. God said, just walk. You don't have to talk about it. And I'm sitting here looking at my husband is looking, and we're trying to show out in the store. And I said, God, oh my God, Lord, are you talking to me? Because I was asking for a voice and you're saying, just walk. And we left the furniture store. So this is how God, because he snatched me up, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared because I thought it was going to have to be something grand. We left the furniture store and we walked into a Chinese restaurant. And before we walked in, my 8-year-old says, Mommy, you're going to put your wig on. And I said, oh, Caitlin, I think I am. She said, Mommy, you don't have to do that. You're confident. See, that's the confident part. She said, Mommy, you don't have to wear it. I said, oh, Caitlin, I don't know about this. I had just been blessed by the Lord, but I don't know. I said, Mommy, don't put it on. So we walked into the store, into the restaurant. This is 5 minutes from leaving the furniture store. The lady walks up to me and she said, you have a glow all around you. And And I said, thank you, ma'am. She said, I'm just going to ask you a question. Is your hair, is that a result? Same words. I said, yes. She said, no, that's your testimony. And it's speaking for you. Then she went on to say, I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor of 13 years. And we hollered in the restaurant. My husband bought me, we making a mess in the restaurant. She said, I wasn't going to say anything to you, but when you walked in, it was something all over you. But I'm telling you, it's speaking for you. God just confirmed everything I was praying that week. Just walk in it. And so that day was Saturday, and Sunday morning, I got up to go to church. And my husband will make a joke because he said, I was thinking that Trish done laid out here in these people Chinese store, and she done cried and all this stuff, but when it's time to go to church, she don't put that wig on. And I came down the stairs, and I said, I'm ready to go. And he looked at my bald head. He said, you ready? I said, I'm ready to go. Because, see, I knew then. I had read it somewhere before, but it came back to me. I knew that I was on the cliff. And it was time for me to jump. This was my test. It wasn't about strength or endurance. It was a test of faith. This journey was a test of faith. I was on the cliff. And I had to jump. And it said in the story that I read a long time, so you have to jump. And you have to believe God is going to catch you or teach you how to fly. I had to jump right then, unless I would have never done it. And I jumped that day. God has been carrying me some days, and I've been flying the other days. I walked out of my house in my 5-year-old cold, because by then I had 3 wigs, and we had named all of them. My 5-year-old ran behind me. He said, Mommy, you forgot Claire. That was my hair. I said, Mommy not going to wear Claire. He said, you not wearing Claire to church? I said, Mommy's not going to wear Claire. He said, okay, well, come on, let's go. We walked into church. Now, remember, my church folks didn't know. So they see this bald-headed woman walking to church, and they're looking at me. And then my pastor get up to do his sermon, and his sermon was, I've been restored. Glory to God. I've been restored. I knew that. I said, God, I'm healed. It is done. I am done with this. I'm going to do my journey. I'm going to press. And that day I pressed. I came out on Facebook because my husband was like, yeah, you think you bad because you don't walk in church. I bet you won't put that picture on Facebook. I said, oh, it's already there. And in 2 weeks' time, symbolizing the walk, I decided to walk in the Susan G. Komen race. Just to walk, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish. My feet were all messed up. I didn't have a lot of strength. I could walk about 10 steps, and I was shortness of breath. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was very fatigued. I said, but Ben, I'm going to walk in this race. And I asked people, I said, support me. And in 2 weeks' time, we raised over $10,000. For not only breast cancer support services, but to me it was a walk and a testament of when you walk and speak your journey. When you do it, God will confirm it. It reminded me, this journey is not for me. My test is not for me. It's my testimony to encourage somebody else. How can I be quiet when He's delivered me? How can I sit here and be under a wig saying I'm just going to and you. We need a cure. It's not fun. I'm standing here in my nice little suits, but it wasn't easy. Some days I'm not flying. Some days I'm barely pressing. Some days my faith is the size of a mustard seed. The devil still talks about recurrence in my ear. I still need prayers every day. Some mornings I tell my husband I can't do it today. I'm not getting out of bed today. Because I'm physically healed, but my spirit and my emotions still sometimes mess me up. But then I remember God told me in Joshua 1:9, he said, have I not commanded you to be courageous? Boom! That's it! I'm empowered. God told me I was healed and I'm a survivor. That's all I can speak. So I tell you, while we're celebrating breast cancer and Press is about breast cancer, God is expanding the brand. Press is about whatever situations you're going through in your life. If you press towards the goal, if you press towards the goal and you keep going, if you don't give up, if you believe God, if you know He's real, if you seek the evidence of others' testimonies. So when I get those bad days, I don't get hysterical. I get historical. God, hallelujah, hallelujah. I remember when I was down and I couldn't get up. I remember when I couldn't eat, when I couldn't speak. And God brought me to this day. He just told me just to stay on the path. My babies who the Lord wanted to be, they wanted them to mess them up. My babies are resilient. They're stronger than ever before. I said, devil, you done messed up because now there's 3 little Trish's about to come up. And my 5-year-old will tell you about breast cancer, and then he will ask you, do you have press shirts? He came home to me Thursday. I'm going to wrap it up real quick. He came home and said, Mommy, we have breast cancer at our school. I said, oh, Cole, no. Yes. I said, well, where's the breast cancer? It's in my cafe. He's in kindergarten. I said, Cole, where's the breast cancer? It's on the wall. I saw it. But they don't have a press on top of it. So we need to get a sign. He was talking about the awareness. He said, Mama, make me a sign to get a school on tomorrow. I got to put press on top of the breast cancer. See, that's what God has already done. Planted the seed in a 5-year-old. Who can tell you, my mommy pressed, and we walked, and we go, and we talk, because it's not about Trisha. It's not about me. My story is not unique. But my God is available to me, is available to you. What He did for me, He will do for you in your situation. And so in closing, I'm going to tell you to press toward the prize. I'm going to ask you to be encouraged beyond October. Pray for those in the battle. Pray for the survivors of the ones who were given rest from the battle. Pray for those who are going to join the battle. I'm going to ask you to give $1. We need a cure. I told y'all I'm selfish here. We need a cure. And then I want you to bring awareness. It could happen to me who had no history. It could happen to you. But I am an overcomer. You are too. The devil is persistent, but my God